April 4th marks the anniversary of the coronation of the great Reza Shah, founder of the Pahlavi monarchy in Iran. Reza Shah was able to break the structural and cultural dams that had been Islamized in Iran through legal openings, and his reforms paved the way for the entry of the homeland into a new era. His late Majesty Reza Shah Pahlavi devoted his entire being until the end of his precious life to building and developing Iran. He was a powerful and capable king who fearlessly and tirelessly strove to lift Iran from the quagmire of poverty and misery. On Thursday, April 23rd, after Prince Reza Pahlavi exited the German Federal Parliament building in Berlin, an individual splashed a red liquid towards him. Reports indicate that this incident occurred as the prince was making his way to his vehicle. Berlin police have stated that the assailant was immediately detained at the scene. Prince Reza Pahlavi, following the event, left the area by waving to the Iranians present and continued with his scheduled activities. The judiciary of the Islamic Republic of Iran announced on Monday, April 20th, that Mohammad Masoom Shahi and Hamid Validi have been executed on charges of membership in a spy network linked to Mossad. Reports say that before the execution, the two prisoners were transferred to a quarantine in Karaj Central Prison. In its statement, the judiciary claimed they had contacted Mossad officers via online channels and through travel to the Kurdistan region of Iraq, and returned to Iran after receiving training. However, reports indicate that more than 1,600 executions have been recorded in Iran over the past year, raising concerns about the process of issuing and carrying out death sentences. Mizan news agency affiliated with the Islamic Republic's judiciary announced that the death sentence for Amir Ali Mir Jafari, one of the detainees from the January protests, had been carried out. Reports indicate that the judiciary has identified him as the main perpetrator of the burning of the Qolhak Grand Mosque and one of the leaders of Mossad collaborator network. Mizan news agency affiliated with the Islamic Republic's judiciary reported the execution of political prisoner Mehdi Farid on charges of spying for Israel. According to reports, the state-run outlet claimed on Wednesday, April 22nd, that Farid had served as head of the Passive Defense Committee management within a sensitive government body, alleging he had made contact with Mossad through online channels. The report states that information such as internal access points, organizational charts, building layouts, and security details was among the data he intended to pass on. However, the name of the organization where he worked has not been disclosed, and no evidence has been presented to support these allegations. Irfan Kiani, one of those arrested during Iran's nationwide uprising, was executed on Saturday, April 25th, 2026. Reports indicate that Iran's judiciary had sentenced him to death on charges including destruction of public and private property, arson, carrying Molotov cocktails, possession of a cold weapon, attacking security forces, and spreading fear and panic, and also alleged ties to Mossad. However, so far no details have been made public regarding the timing or conditions of this trial, his access to legal representation, or even his exact age. According to reports, Amir Mohammad Shah Karami, a 14-year-old, disappeared on January 8th during the national uprising in Ghalle Hassan Khan, known as Quds City, leaving his family searching for him with no answers. Days later, when they called his phone, agents answered, saying he had been detained and was alive, but nearly 60 days later, his body was returned to the family in a numbered bag marked 11754. Reports say his body showed signs of beating and bruising, and he was killed by a gunshot to the temporal area. No official details or accountability have been provided. Security forces of the Islamic Republic secretly buried the bodies of Mohammad Amin Beglari and Shahid Wahid Parast, two protesters executed in the January uprising, and refused to disclose their burial sites to their families. Reports say they had been executed on charges including involvement in an attack on a Basij base. By hiding their burial locations, authorities have denied their families the right to know where they are laid to rest or to hold a funeral. Fox News has reported that the Islamic Republic has sentenced a woman to death for participating in the January 2026 Tehran protests. Reports indicate that Bita Hemmati, according to human rights organizations, is the first female protester to face a death sentence in connection with this uprising and is set to be executed along with 3 others. According to received reports, Babak Kharbo, the uncle of slain protester Ali Reza Kharbo, was arrested on February 10, 2026 in Deziche, Isfahan, and is now facing serious charges that could put him at risk of execution. Reports indicate that the 33-year-old father of 3 young children was subjected to interrogation and torture after his arrest before being transferred to Dastgird prison in Isfahan. Sources close to the family say his wife was warned not to pursue his release, and Babak remains deprived of access to a lawyer. So far, no information has been made public regarding the exact charges against him or the legal process surrounding his case. According to received reports, Masih Abbaskhani Davanlu, who is being held in detention alongside his brother Mohsen Abbaskhani Davanlu, has been sentenced to death in connection with the killing of a Basij member named Amin Ziai during Iran's nationwide uprising. The death sentence was reportedly issued in Sari on January 8th. Reports indicate that 2 court sessions have been held so far for the 2 brothers, and both were allegedly tortured into giving forced confessions related to the case. Based on this information, the death sentence has been issued for Masih, the younger brother, while the status of Mohsen, the older brother, remains unclear. It is also reported that Masih Abbaskhani has been transferred to solitary confinement, raising serious concerns that his execution could be imminent. So far, no further details about the case have been made public. The death sentences of Ehsan Hosseinipour, Hesarlu, Mateen Mohammadi, and Irfan Amiri, 3 detainees aged 17 and 18 arrested during the January 2026 protests, have been confirmed by Iran's Supreme Court and sent for implementation. Reports indicate that the 3 were arrested in connection with the arson of the Sayyid al-Shohada Mosque in Pakdasht and were charged with actions against internal security, assembly and collusion, participation in murder, and intentional arson. State-affiliated media also described them as key figures in the case. However, according to human rights sources, Ehsan Hosseinipour was subjected to severe torture during detention, and his alleged confessions were obtained under physical abuse and threats with a weapon, with his right to a proper defense reportedly denied. So far, no detailed information has been made public regarding the full judicial process or the current condition of the individuals involved. Bushra Mustafavi, Nahid Naimi, and Didar Ahmadi, 3 Baha'i citizens from Rafsanjan, were transferred to Kerman prison on Saturday, April 25, 2026, to serve a 4-month sentence. Reports indicate that the 3 were previously convicted by Branch 7 of the Kerman Provincial Court of Appeal on charges of propaganda against the system. They had initially been acquitted at trial due to insufficient evidence, but the ruling was later overturned on appeal by the prosecutor. According to these reports, the presiding judge allegedly told them during the proceedings, "You are Baha'i, and in an Islamic country you must pay the price for being Baha'i." It is also reported that Bushra Mustafavi was transferred to prison while pregnant. So far, no information has been made public regarding their current detention conditions. According to received reports, Mahsa Setude, Mandana Setude, and Behzad Basiri, 3 Baha'i citizens, have been arrested in Shiraz by intelligence agents of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Reports indicate that Roya Basiri, Behzad Basiri's sister, shared a video expressing deep concern over their situation and called on the public to be their voice. So far, no information has been made public regarding their place of detention, physical condition, or any possible charges against them. The IRGC has announced that 239 people were arrested in the province of Kurdistan and Kermanshah during an operation against what it described as foreign-linked groups, and that 1 person was killed. According to reports cited by Mehr News Agency, 84 individuals were detained in Kurdistan province, including 11 accused of membership in separatist groups. At the same time, 155 people were arrested in Kermanshah province, including 4 accused of ties to Mossad. The reports also claims that a significant amount of weapons and ammunition were seized during the operation, including 8 rocket launchers, over 2,000 rocket rounds, 90 explosive detonators, 18 hand grenades, 5 mortar shells, more than 1,200 bullets, and 6 rifle grenades. In a separate operation targeting arms trafficking networks in the region, in addition, 144 people were reportedly arrested and several weapons were confiscated. So far, no independent verification of these claims has been made public. Iran's internet shutdown has now entered its 56th consecutive day, with international connectivity remaining severely restricted for more than 1,320 hours. Reports indicate that this has become the longest recorded nationwide internet blackout in a connected society. As the war continues and reports of executions persist, conditions inside the country are being described as rapidly worsening. So far, no information has been provided about when these restrictions may come to an end. Iranian state media have shared a video on social networks showing several government supporters openly threatening freedom-seeking Iranians by displaying handguns, Kalashnikovs, RPGs, and Dragunov sniper rifles.